வைக்கத்தான் வெள்ளம் போல நீ நுழைந்தாய் நானும் முழுக்கத்தான் கண்ணுங்கள் வீங்கிய கனலே கனலே கண்ணெதிர் வருகிறாய் கனவே கனவே கண்ணுங்கள் வீங்கிய கனலே கனலே கண்ணெதிர் வருகிறாய் கனவே கனவே உள்ளம் ஒன்று கொண்டு வந்தேன் உன்னை வைக்கத்தான் வெள்ளம் போல நீ நுழைந்தாய் நானும் கண்ணுங்கள் வீங்கிய கனலே கனலே கண்ணெதிர் வருகிறாய் கனவே கனவே கண்ணுங்கள் வீங்கிய கனலே கனலே கண்ணெதிர் வருகிறாய் கனவே கனவே.
Namaskar. On the occasion of New Year's Eve, we warmly invite you to Sadguru Darshan here in the presence of Adi Yogi. We also extend a very warm welcome to our online participants who have joined us from around the world. We have an opportunity tonight to experience Nada Aradhana, which is an offering of sounds to Dhyanalinga at the midnight Sandhya, that is from 11:40 p.m. to 12:10 a.m. You can also participate from wherever you are by joining us on the live stream. For this evening, students of Project Samskriti have put together a special performance for us. Project Samskriti. Isha Samskriti is a unique offering to children envisioned by Sadguru. It provides an ideal environment for children to unfold in harmony within themselves and the world around them. At a time when modern education is geared towards inculcating information at the behest of social and technological changes, Isha Samskriti is an education system steeped in Indian classical arts that enables a child to grow to their full potential physically, mentally, and spiritually. Throughout the 12 years of child's formative life, children are soaked in the aesthetics and discipline of yoga, Carnatic and Hindustani music, Bharatanatyam, Ayurveda, and the ancient martial art of Kalaripayattam. In Sadguru's words, these children are not for the universities, but for the universe. Now let's welcome our Isha Samskriti, Project Samskriti students for this live performance. Thank you, Project Samskriti. Join us now as we unveil a visual glimpse of the milestones and impact we have created across the globe this year, 2023.
What is the mission you're on?
No mission. My experience, I'm trying to just rub it off.
There's only one goal for life, for all life. This life wants to become full. This is the only goal every life has.
2023, let's light it up, huh? Consecration is an effort to encapsulate that energy. Generally is referred to as the divine. It draws people's attention and creates a possibility for enhancement and empowerment of life. We have strengthened the third eye in a big way. She is more driving towards mukti.
I feel blessed to be here on the holy occasion of Mahashivratri in the presence of Adi Yogi.
This is not of belief going to heaven, this is not about seeking solace. This is a day for everyone to commit themselves to become genuine seekers. Play is not just in the field of playing a game, bringing that playfulness into every aspect of your life. Let's make it happen, create a playful Bharat. What do you say?
I'm glad to know that the event has become an effective tool for social transformation.
Renowned yogi Sadegورو, the founder of the Save Soil movement, spoke at COP28.
This is the fundamentals of democracy. If 60% of any electorate clearly states, we are concerned about the soil, what about our children, what are you doing for them? If you don't do this, we will not elect you. This will become the electoral issue. Once it's the electoral issue, it's action.
Thank you for your leadership. He has the magic.
The celebration has happened, the attention is moved towards soil, that's a big celebration for us.
And we're doing a large meditation session, is that right?
Not very large, about 12,000 people.
Not large.
What is moving here is not the clock. This is life ticking away. This moment when I'm with you, I'm 100%. You are the most important person in my life right now, and that's how I live. I'm only an outpouring of who I am, no matter where I am. Shambhavi means it's a twilight zone, to be rooted in the body, but to touch a dimension which is beyond physical nature.
The meditation was phenomenal.
To be with Sadhguru is always a great inner event.
My intention is not to initiate the whole world. I'm hoping each one of you will at least transform another 10 lives around you, not by teaching, just by your way of being. A guru is not a teacher. A guru is not a guide or a philosopher, nor a friend. He is there just to light it up. So today, 40 years after that day, here we are relaunching Inner Engineering Online once again in a new format, in 7 steps. Transform your life with Sadhguru. Let's make it happen. The most significant aspect of being in Sangha is that you move from seeing and experiencing meditation as a practice to meditation as a quality of your life. The thirst for knowing what is the truth about my life has gone up many fold, particularly in the youth across the world. Never before a spiritual effort has been made on this scale. Being in a guru's lap means this is about cooking yourself up to become vibrant. If your thing is wanting to dissolve, you don't have to say a damn thing, just sit. Today, being Buddha Purnami, it's a reminder if you don't rise above your intellect, mental ailment is a natural outcome. Before Sadhguru launches his Conscious Planet movement in 2024, I will be at least little bit above my buddhi. The most important thing that we need to build on this planet is great human beings. Being a yogi means you have become like a temple. A temple is not doing anything, but it exudes a certain energy. This must happen. Only then you know what it means to be a being.
essentially you're not suffering life, you're suffering two most important faculties, a very vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination. Every day, millions of people, if they close their eyes, tears of ecstasy at washing their cheeks. This is the only achievement I have, rest is all circus.
We are about to celebrate 5,000 years of yoga's history. Sadhguruji is here because he can share with us his wisdom.
Sadhguru, we welcome you to UNESCO.
The importance of yoga is to explore the limits of your individual nature. Policymakers understand it's a concern, they'll make the right policies. Say something about soil every day to someone, or at least on your phone, or sign off as Save Soil.
Viral videos essentially of our ISRO scientists before Chandrayaan-3's launch, visiting temple.
Why can't they?
This is science, why are you mixing faith in it?
Temple is a tool for opening up certain possibilities. We are not asking God to make our Chandrayaan successful. The scientist is looking how to upgrade himself to do this enormous task. In another 35 to 40 years' time, when over 70% of the population has no religion, either everybody will be a drug addict or an alcoholic, or they will be a meditator. It's our responsibility to see they turn inward, not get destroyed with chemicals. Heart of hearts, I don't have all those things. I broke my heart into 1,000,000 pieces and threw it away in the world. I live not because of my values. I live not because of my morality. I live not because of some commandments from somewhere. I live out of my humanity. Entrepreneurship means you want to wear the hell out of your life. You're not looking at how to do less, you're looking at how to do more. Entrepreneurship should not be just seen as another way to making a living, it's a way to make life. This is the choice that you have. Either you just make a living or you make a life out of this. It doesn't matter how big the business becomes. How full is your experience? That's all that matters. The important thing is to create spaces and times where you can simply be still and in silence. It is in the escape of silence that all sounds can happen.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
Absolutely fantastic to see a river of devotion flowing here. At 85, he still practiced just to hit a ball. Look at the devotion. What did I do to earn this? Come here, come here, come here. Go, 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 go.
तो वो है जिसने जिंदगी के रास्ते पर रोशनी छिड़की।
वाह वाह वाह।
Sounds of Sanity, Discovering Inner Peace, a conversation between Blatt and Sadhguru.
Love is not what you do, it is something that you can become.
It was wonderful to meet Rafa.
You are on 4 wheels, a young man, I'm on 2 wheels for my age.
I gotta say, it's pretty impressive.
Keeping yourself in the best possible way is the most fundamental responsibility that you have, because whether you do the best or not may depend whether somebody will live or not.
What is Shiva? Or who is Shiva?
It's not a question I can answer, but I can transmit. Bharat does not need fighting spirit, it should be the spirit of life.
Welcome to all of you for this Naga Panchami.
How profoundly you perceive will decide how successful you are.
Save soil, save soil, save soil.
This life wants to become full. This is the only goal every life has.
How do you keep yourself calm when you want to?
There's only one rule, never collide with anything. This goes for your life also.
Today I've made some nice ragi dosa, you must eat and see.
How do you hold on to that joy?
There's nothing to hold on to. If you don't hold on to anything, you'll be joyful.
He's very grateful to you for this opportunity.
I'm being brailled.
So right now we are building what is called as farmer-producer organization. Right now we have 24 of them. They have done fabulously well. And their lives and their family life, everything has changed significantly simply because it became a collective effort. This is the first poem I wrote in Isha Yoga Center. Successful leader means just that. What they see tomorrow, you see today, that's all.
It is always a great pleasure to listen to Sadhguru.
Here I am at India-Pakistan border. Our brave men and women are doing their best. It's a great honor to be here in Benas. What you do here in the next 2 to 3 years' time could be a module for the entire world of reviving soils.
Same
Just don't see me, man. Stand with me and do something, no?
Flying these vintage machines.
The important thing about my life is not about predicting your future, about empowering you to create your future. Next year, 2024, we are launching a global movement called Conscious Planet. Be a part of it.
Namaskaram. All of you here and wherever else you are. Well, time, kala, in the Indian languages, in the many Indian languages across the country, kala means time. Well, I don't want to go into the intricacies of what is time, but our relationship with time, how we relate to time is very important. Because essentially, what we think is life is just a certain amount of time. A whole lot of people seem to think that they are here for an eternity. No, we're here for just a brief amount of time. But these cycles of time, as every embodied being knows, time as a cycle. Right now, we are talking about 1 year coming to an end and a new year
starting its process. What this means is, as you know, the planet went around the sun once. Well, if the moon goes around the earth, we call it a month. Within the clock, we have hours and minutes, of course. But in human experience, essentially, time is a cycle. These cycles of time they can crush you. I'm not threatening you. You can see that. Many of them, when they were children, how they were, they're like this they were. If you see them after 30 years, what happened? Time crushed them. They may give many reasons. Essentially, time is crushing them. You can either be crushed by time or you can be trapped in the cycle of time. Everything is well with you, but you're just bored. You don't know what this is about. You wonder how to live. So people will start doing, once survival process is taken care of and they feel trapped within the cycles of time, they will start doing more and more freaky things because they want to somehow break the boredom of this entrapment within the cycle of time. But if you learn to ride this cycle, then life will become fantastic, a very exciting ride, because it is the cycles of time which is the access to the whole universe in many ways. So here, we created two dimensions of time, or we recognized two dimensions of time. For all those social media troll people, dimension, 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 so that tomorrow they have something to do. One is the cyclical time and one is that dimension of time which is beyond that. So we said Kala and Mahakala. But today, we are looking at the watch and just a few more hours to this year is going to end. Well, in terms of planetary movement, the new year has already begun. In this culture, we call this Agrayana, that means a new beginning. Post solstice, the winter solstice, which is the 22nd of December, Agrayana has happened, the new beginnings have started because sun's southward movement came to a standstill on that day and then started moving northward. So it is also said it is the time, not really a full day, it is a brief time where the sun becomes standstill in terms of its relationship to the planet. We must understand sun is not moving anywhere, planet is moving, but in our experience, sun rises, sun sets, so we talk in terms of sun's movement. But actually it's planetary movement in a certain way. So the new beginnings have happened. This calendar that we are following today, the world is following today, became an international phenomena. Otherwise, different peoples were following different calendars. The Hindu calendar has its own way. There is a lunar calendar, there is a solar calendar, and there's a luni-solar calendar, which is a combination of both. The Egyptians had their own calendar, the Romans had lunar calendar, the Macedonian civilizations had a different calendar, Native Americans had a different calendar, different ways of calculating. But when Julius Caesar started ruling Rome, at that time the Roman calendar had 355 days. So there was a 10-day gap. what to do 10 days without a number or a name. So they adopted the Egyptian calendar, which is 365 days, or 364 and 365. They also had a leap year or a leap day. That is, once in 4 years, there was an extra day. So they picked up that calendar and adopted. That has become the international thing right now, because in many ways it makes our life simple. Otherwise you have to know lots of things just to know what day it is today. Well, the first month, tomorrow or tonight after 12 p.m. is called January, because this month was named after a god who was called Janus. Janus is a two-faced god. One face facing back, looking towards the past, another looking forward towards the future. And it also happens to be, in most parts of the northern hemisphere, this happens to be the harvest time. So this is a time when the farming community would like to relax a little bit, celebrate and plan for their future. So this month became, or the month in the next few hours, became January, named after the god Janus. And here we are at the very end of 2023. I thought it just started day before yesterday and the damn thing is over already. So, people are always asking, what is the resolution we should take? New Year resolution. This comes from the same culture where they used to make a promise to the god Janus that this year we'll do this and that, whatever. Based on that, today it has become a personal resolution, which most people have made it a tradition to break it on day 2. So, what resolution you should take? What should you do in the coming year? So the important thing is our life longing to become something more. If you were a different creature other than a human being, how much more was very clear. How much can a tree become? How much can a tiger become? How much can an elephant become? How much can any creature become is very clearly demarcated. That is essentially, nature has drawn 2 lines for them within which they live and die. The problem with the human being is that there is no top line. How much ever you become, there seems to be something more to do. So, these resolutions that people take is essentially to become something little more. Because we are in many ways a consequence of the times in which we live, and time has a serious consequence on our lives. So we are using milestones. Nowhere in the cosmos is it marked, it's 2023, 2024, no such numbers are there anywhere in the cosmos, don't go around looking, okay? It is just that for our own sake we need milestones, otherwise we wouldn't know anything. We need some kind of a marker if you need it. But one important thing that all of us should do if we want to enhance our lives into a bigger possibility than what it is right now, the most important thing is to take charge of the 2 instruments that we have, our physical body and our psychological or mental faculties. If you don't take charge of these 2 things, everything will be accidental. When life is accidental, what are you going to resolve? There's no such thing. So it's very important that these 2 things must be taken charge of. To take charge of the body and to take charge of the mind, these 2 things if you do. Now, if you resolve to do something, Well, there is a pretty good possibility that you could get there. If these two things are not in your hands, they do their own things, then don't waste your time resolving to do this and that, because none of those things will happen. So as a part of this, because a whole lot of people are telling me, Sadhguru, we are watching a lot of your YouTube videos. Isn't that enough? Why should I do any practice? See, YouTube videos are… if you want me to use a nice language, it's an inspirational process, or it's just a titillation. If you are sufficiently inspired, then you must act upon it. For you to act, it's important that you need a certain process. YouTube videos you're watching, yes, it is good because it'll change your attitude and your direction a little bit, but it doesn't take you there. This year, in 2023, our video views have been 4.37 billion with a B. No, this is what I'm telling you. Now, how to get these people, 4.37 billion video views, into some kind of a live practice in their lives? And those of you who are here who do practices only on special occasions, hello? Are there such people? Only on full moon night, Sadhguru, No, the practices… This is a resolution all of you must take. Pick up a simple practice. If you can do engineering and Shambhavi, that's the best way to start. But if you are not that committed, pick up something which takes 12–15 minutes. Take up Isha Kriya. Commit next 48 days. Morning, evening, I will do it. 40… That's exactly what I'm saying, you have no time. Well, a young man is saying, I have no time. This is exactly what I'm telling you, you don't have much time. Unless you're a miserable mess. If you're a miserable mess, you have lot of time. If you are little exuberant and joyful and something significant to do, 100 years, gone. See me, I feel like a baby, but so time, there is no time at all to explore human potential. Whoever devised this whole process, nature, evolution, whatever you believe in, they didn't plan the time properly. They should have given me a little more time, at least 28 hours a day. Hello? No, only 24 hours, only that many years. So only if you're miserable, you feel you have a long life. If you have any exuberance in you, if you are tasting life in some way, time just gets over in no time. How's that? No, I'm talking about the stupidity of language. Time gets over in no time. Because time is a very relative experience, all depends how you keep yourself. It's not about the hour, it's not about the year, it is just how you keep yourself. If you keep yourself well, there is never enough time. But it's right that you said you have no time. That's a good reminder for yourself, you don't have much time. You better, if you're interested in this life, If you think this life is a precious one, if you think this is a valuable life, you must act now. That's why I'm saying 48 days, twice a day, some simple practice. In engineering would be good, but it'll take some commitment to go through that. Isha Kriya is simple, 12 minutes a day, morning, evening. Just fix this, because instead of taking up resolutions that will disappear by tomorrow evening for most people, do something that is concrete and you're doing it. It's something that you have to do. If you say, I'll give up my anger, I will do this, I'll do that, I know where it'll go. But morning, evening, I'm going to do this simple practice. It's a simple way of fixing it. Now, what is this enhancement of life? I'm sorry. This happened. This is from folklore in Karnataka, where it happened one day. There was a guru, a man came to him and at his doorstep, I'm sorry, he came and said, "Oh master, I have a son who is 20 years of age. He's good for nothing. He's a donkey. And this donkey, can you make a man out of him, something out of him?" The guru laughed and said, "Okay, bring your donkey, I will make a man out of him." On the street, a dhobi was passing. For those of you who are not from Indian origin, a dhobi means a washerman in India. Traditionally, Indian washermen always used a donkey as their pickup truck. All their cargo or clothes were always transported on a donkey. And he heard this, wow, this man is going to make a donkey into a human being? And I don't have children. This has been my only grouse in my life, I don't have a child, I don't have a son. And then, as soon as the other man left, the dhobi came and knocked on the guru's door and said, "You have to do this." He held on to his feet and he said, "You have to do this. I have many donkeys. You must make one of my donkeys into a man and I will have a son. My life's dream will be fulfilled." Guru said, "What is this? How can I make your donkey into a man?" No, I know you promised somebody, I know you can do it, you can't fool me now, you have to do it." Many of you So, the guru tried to dissuade him in so many ways, but every day in the morning, the dhobi was at the guru's door. "You have to make one of my donkeys into a man, I need a son, please, don't say no." After a few weeks, not able to bear this man's thing, he said, "Okay, bring your donkey, let's see what we can do." So he went home and looked, which is the most handsome donkey? Oh, come on, donkeys can be handsome too. Most of the time they are. So he brought the best donkey and gave it to the guru and, "Please, when can I collect my son?" He said, "It'll take 90 days. 90 days? I thought you can do it in a day. How long did your mother take? 9 months. 90 days is okay, go." So the guru's idea was 90 days means this guy may forget or lose his focus, something will happen, many things can happen in 90 days. So he took the donkey into his barn and on the dot, on the 90th day, the dhobi was at his door with garlands ready. The guru saw this and he didn't expect this. He thought he had forgotten about this thing. Then he said what to do. Where is my son? Where is my son? Oh, your son, you know, when I converted the donkey into a man, he came out as a grown-up man and he walked away to a village which is 3 days of walk from here. And there he's become the head of the village. This is the name of the village, this is the name of the man. Immediately the dhobi set forth. 3 days walk, doesn't matter. He wants to find his son. He got there, inquired, where is the head of the village? Somebody pointed out where he is. He went there and he said, "Oh, my son, how are you doing? Come on, let's go home." That man said, "What? Who are you?" He said, "I know, it just happened like that, you were a donkey." I said, "What? You're calling me a donkey?" He said, "No, my son, you look like your grandfather, you resemble." You've seen this always, whenever a child is born which is just like that, like a tomato, people say, "Oh, look at this, it resembles me." Every father, every mother doing it all the time, grandparents of course. So you resemble your grandfather so much. Please, let's go home. That man said, "Who is this fool? Take him out." So people came, thrashed him nicely and threw him out of the village. So the man became totally bitter and dejected. He walked all the way back 3 days, came to the guru and said, "That wretched son of mine, he has no gratitude. He was a donkey and I made him into a human being. He has no gratitude. It's best not to have children." I really disappointed. It is this. So Guru said, "If you want, I will again convert him into donkey, you take your donkey home. Come after 3 days. 3 days later he came, he handed over the donkey and the man happily went home. You must understand, if you are a donkey, we can't make you something else. We can make you maybe a little stronger donkey, a more disciplined donkey. Maybe we can do little makeup, decorate you a little bit, that's about it. But once you've come as a human being, there is no limit to what you can become. Do you want to explore this or do you want to do tidbits with your life? This is a choice that you have. I would like you to spend this night thinking about it. What is it? Forget about what is possible and not possible. What is it that I would like to be? When I say what is it that I would like to be, don't think in terms of the world, I want to become the president of the world, that means you're a little lost, okay? At least this much, how I want to be. Whatever is your idea of the most wonderful human being, your idea, don't go by my idea. Your idea of what is the most wonderful human being that you can be, write it down. And also write down 5 things which are not allowing you to be that. Handle these 5 things. 2024 will be a great year for sure, for you. Whatever else may happen in the world, we can't control all those things. What happens in the world, we cannot control all of it. We have some say, that's about it. But what happens in this one? If you don't take charge and try to change all kinds of things, no, change the experience of your life, because human experience is caused from within, not from outside. Now, will you do it by yourself or do you want life to whip you? It does, you know, if you wait, it does. If you wait long enough, it does. This happened in Vijayanagar. You know, our ancestors are from Vijayanagar, so There are stories and stories about what happened there, particularly about Tenali Ramakrishna, who was a jester in the court, but the king's confidant. At that time, Vijayanagar Empire controlled all the western ports of India. In the west coast, whatever ports we have, almost all of them they controlled. So they controlled all the trade that happened between West Asia and India at that time. They say on an annual basis, Krishnadevaraya bought 10,000 Arabian steed per year. And they used this very effectively in their military campaigns. But Tenali Rama was not a soldier, he never went into the battle. But because Krishnadevaraya had a sweet spot for him, Tenali Rama managed to have a fine Arabian steed for himself, a wonderful looking horse. So one day he was riding this horse and going to a village fair. There was a horse trader in the town who was mean to the core, who was mean and very, very divisive and greedy. He looked at this fine horse and he wanted it. So he stopped Tenali Rama and said, "I will buy this horse, 100 pieces of gold." Tenali Rama said, "This horse is not for sale. This is part of my family. This is not for sale." Then he said, "Okay, 125 pieces of gold." He said, "Don't waste your time. This is not for sale, I told you." Then he followed and he said, 300 pieces of gold. Then Tenali Rama said, "See, this is a priceless horse, so there is no price for it. So I will give it you free." The man's eyes widened, "You will give it to me free?" He said, "Yes, because 300 gold pieces for a horse like this will be an insult. So, I'll give it to you free. Only thing is, with my horsewhip, I will give you 3 lashes in public." He said, "What?" But greed, you know. 3 lashes, if you withstand, you will get a beautiful horse, free. He said, "Okay, have your pleasure." So Tenali Rama announced and the whole town arrived. So they made him bend down, pull down his pants in front of everybody, and he took his horsewhip. See, probably horsewhip is the first supersonic thing that human beings created. When you whip it, it breaks sound, speed of sound. So Tenali Rama practiced for some time, and then he was waiting, and the whole town was eager to see how he will be whipped, because he is greedy and mean to everybody, so they all want to have this pleasure of watching him whipped. So one lash, it cut through the skin, and the man screamed, and he thought he will run away. But you know, already he's taken one, just 2 more, you'll get a horse. And again he bent down, Tenali Rama practiced, and the next one, he screamed and said, "Oh, enough, I don't." He was about to run away. Then he thought, already he's taken 2, just 1 more. All right, he held on, you know, gritted his teeth and bent down. He waited and waited, the lash didn't come. Then when he turned back and looked, Tenali Rama had wound up his whip, tucked it in, and he was getting onto his horse. He said, "Finish the 3rd one." He said, "No, I will do the 3rd one whenever I feel like it. Till then the horse belongs to me." So, do you want to be whipped by life Or will you do something about the well-being of this, that this body and this mind should take instructions from you and nobody else but you? Those of you who think, Sadhguru, some spirits are speaking to me, no damn spirit should speak by itself unless you ask them to speak. Hello? Yes, this is important. If somebody is speaking in your head, just know you are heading towards mental illness. So M for mental illness. Hello? No, I'm teaching alphabets to you. M for mental illness. M for marijuana. Or M for meditation. Make up your mind. M for meditation, we must make this happen because right now, every indicator on the planet, every study is showing that in the next few years, mental illness is going to be one of the biggest problems for humanity. Percentages, very horrific percentages scientists are throwing out. I don't know if we reach those percentages. If we reach those percentages, there's no way we can live here because they're saying by 2045, 50% of the population may need mental illness remedial measures in terms of treatment. 50%. Well, the US Surgeon General declared that 1 in 2 Americans are feeling lonely right now. If 2 of you are sitting here and 1 of you is feeling lonely, what the hell is happening with the other guy? Loneliness, you must understand, is the incubation period for mental illness. If you start feeling lonely, sitting here among people, you're feeling lonely, just know you're cooking up an illness and it's going to come sooner or later. So, this is… WHO talks about, World Health Organization is talking about mental health pandemic. But when the COVID pandemic was raging in 2020, in Japan, more people committed suicide that year than the number of people who died of COVID. So we don't really need the virus. We can do it ourselves, self-help. So, we are on this juncture because there are various sociological, technological, many aspects. One important aspect that we need to understand is, there is not enough strength in the food that we are consuming, lack of micronutrients. As we have spoken many times, many studies have been done. One study goes out to say, in 1920, if you ate 1 orange in California, what nutrients you got out of it, if you want to get the same today, you have to eat 8 oranges. 8, this big oranges, 8, to get the same thing. Because soil has depleted. There is not enough microorganisms. Microorganisms, when we say, let me tell you a little bit of their history. Somewhere, we don't know exactly, people say 1 billion years ago, some people say much more, we don't know. I have not even counted the number of years I have lived, so I would not count the number of earth years. But whatever, long time ago, one very smart algae, or it could have been a fungi because it is believed there was not much difference between the two, these differentiations happened much later. One of them who was very smart, which one is that? No, not here. No, you're thinking it's your phone brand I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about somebody who was very smart, but it was the algae or a fungi. They discovered a method with which they can cook their food using sunlight. This phenomena today we call as photosynthesis. This solar energy business is not after you got a solar panel on top of your home.
This is the first solar panel, a green leaf. And from that, every other life, including you and me, that we are all a consequence of this tremendous phenomena called photosynthesis. But in the last 1,000 years, photosynthesis on the planet has come down by 85%. 85. This most basic activity which is necessary for life to happen on this planet has come down by 85%. On an average, 27,000 species of microorganisms are going missing per year, species, not organisms. At this rate, it is expected in the next 15 to 25 years, the fabric of life, the fabric of foundational life, which is these organisms, there will be holes in that. Once there are already holes are beginning to happen, when this happens, human software will start crumbling, which has begun to happen already. It could reach a certain level of momentum in the next 15 to 25 years if we don't do the right things about soil and put back life into it. Soil is not about agriculture, soil is about life process, because the fundamental life process is there, the foundational life is there. Even your body is nearly 60% just microorganisms, only 40% your parental genetics. You must remind your parents about this. Well, almost 18 years ago, when somebody was talking about gut biome and how important it is to digest and to do things in many aspects, I said, not just in the gut, there is microorganism across the body, including your brain. This one statement I made got me a lot of ridicule. People went about laughing, oh, what does he know, this is all pseudoscience, brain has screens, no organism can enter the brain. But today, the top scientists in the world are saying, whatever gut microbiome you have, their cousins are sitting in your brain. If you don't treat these guys properly, they tell their cousins, bother them. And then you go through all kinds of suffering because the microorganisms are telling you, eat right because our cousins are not happy here and we will make sure that you are not happy. Well, this is going to gain momentum. So there are a few things that you need to do. One thing is, of course, we are striving to change the policy on the planet. Some movement has happened, at least the narrative is beginning to shift. Action is yet to come. Little bit of action is happening in a few countries. We've already spoken to COP29 nation, host nation, Azerbaijan, and they are very eager to see that the narrative moves much more solidly towards soil. If you do not know this, in COP28 that we just went to, one of the events by the UNCCD was titled as Soil the Superstar. 2 years ago it didn't exist, now it's superstar, thanks to all of you and many other millions of people who stood up for this. But the job is not over. Every day, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, somewhere you type out save soil, say save soil somewhere in the social media. Please do this, because it's important to move the governments. And if you have a little garden, or even if you just have… if you're living in an apartment, your garden is 2 wet pots and 1 dry one, whatever little soil you have, see how to enhance the organic content there. It may not make a difference to the world, but it makes a difference that you're committed. Your commitment makes a difference to your life. This is the experience of human life. Those who are not committed to anything, they always see obstacles wherever they go. Anything they want to do, they see, this person is not allowing me, that situation is not allowing me, this law is not allowing me. But for those who are committed, there is no such thing as failure. There are just many lessons to be learnt on the way, but no failure. I want you to know a life which doesn't know what is failure.
many things may not happen, but it's not failure, we learned one more thing as to how to do it better. So this commitment has to come into you means at least a pot full of soil, make it little more organically rich. Add something to it, so there's more life happening. This is your commitment, this is not a solution, but your commitment is a solution. Let's make that happen. So Sadhguru, I'm already doing a lot of work, Sadhguru, you're giving me more work. This happened. Shankaran Pillai was running a small industry and he's a very tight-fisted man. One day, one of the workers came and he said, "Sir, I am doing 3 people's work here, I need a raise." Shankaran Pillai said, "Who are those 2 people? Tell me, I will have them fired and you're not getting a raise." So don't think you're doing more than you can do. You're only doing what you can do, but you're doing it cribbing. Everybody is doing only what they can do. Some people are doing it joyfully, some people are always cribbing and complaining and crying about it. Hello? 2024 is a year of crying or laughing? We want to see a year of joy because the joy in you does not depend on the weather, because there's climate change, I'm saying. Does not depend on various things that happen in the world. Many ugly things happen in the world on a daily basis. Doesn't depend on all that. It just depends on how you keep yourself. Because human experience is caused from within. If you take charge of this one thing, you are not an impediment in your life. This much you must do. Other impediments in the world are not going to go away just like that, we have to work at it endlessly. But you are not the problem in your life. This much you must do for 2024 and the rest of your life. Hello? Well, that's not a yes. No, that's better. So, this happened. You know, you've heard of a very famous, now famous, not at that time, now very famous Zen master called Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu in his 80s was on his deathbed. He lived a life, he faced many situations, unnecessarily accused of all kinds of things. Through his life, society gave him lot of trouble, but he was unfazed, always joyful, day in and day out, and went about his work, doing what best he can do. Towards the age of 80, he became reasonably famous. By then he had gathered a few disciples and a small place. So this is the tradition in the Zen culture, that when the master is dying, disciples gather to ask for the last message. Because of course, all these days whatever he spoke, they wouldn't have heard. You also? You're not going to come and bother me on my deathbed. Hello? Tell me so. Good. That absolves me of many things. So they gathered around him and said, "Master, your last message, what is the secret of your joy?" they asked. And Lao Tzu said, "What? The secret of my joy? Nothing, no secret. It's just that every day when I wake up, question arises in my mind, today shall I be joyful or miserable? Till now it just happened, I chose joy, that's all. I'm saying it's just your choice. Whether you're joyful or miserable is just your choice. If you do not exercise your choice, we cannot call you a human being, we'll have to call you a human creature. Because this is the fundamental difference between a creature and a being. A creature means it is instinctive, compulsive reaction to the situations around it, or situations atmosphere around will define the quality of a creature's life. A being means you know how to be. If you know how to be, the atmosphere around you, situations around you should not decide how you are. You know how to be means you decide how you are. If this one thing, you take a commitment this year and these 48 days, a simple process if you do, you can easily get there. It's not some humongous task, but Sadhguru, my anger, my fear, leave those things. You must understand, your anger, your fear and whatever else you have, these are not your qualities. These are the things you create right now. You have a faulty machine, so it's churning out anger, fear, nonsense all the time. You can also churn out joy, love, happiness, blissfulness, ecstasy. You can also churn that out. You just have to understand the mechanics of how this body and this mind functions. If you do not take charge of these mechanics, then accidentally it is churning out something. If you live accidentally, of course, anxiety is natural. How else to be? That's the only way to be. So, essentially, a being means this moment, you have a choice how to be. If you had a choice, I trust your intelligence, even if you… Were anybody promoted straight from being a donkey to human being here? No? You went through the whole process of evolution. That's good. In case you are there, even if you are there, that means once you have become a human being, even if you were a donkey yesterday, you have a choice. This is what human being means. This is what a being means. You have a choice as to how to be right now. If you make this choice, I know you have the intelligence to choose the best possible thing for yourself. Let's make that happen. I heard a lot of questions, please.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. So, my question is, have you ever made a New Year resolution you could not keep?
Oh. I've never had a resolution that I could not keep because I never made a resolution. I had my life resolved long time ago, so I don't make any resolution. I'm fully resolved. Yes, I want you also to be fully resolved. You must make it happen at the earliest.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru.
Where are you?
On your left, 45 degree. Yeah. So right now there has been a lot of attention and focus on Ram Mandir, which has been built in Ayodhya. Also, so I wanted to know and understand, like, why is it just built for some cultural or historic significance, or is it, does it have a larger purpose as well? You also have been talking about establishing infrastructure for spiritual growth. So I just wanted to know.
Well, you're getting me into a political storm. I don't want to start a new year with a political storm around me, but how can you avoid it living in India? So you must understand, all the excitement that you see about Ram Mandir is because it's a 500-year aspiration. And there is a whole history to it that most people who are just looking at the news channels may not understand. There is a lot of intricate history.
But still it took this long for something so simple, which was destroyed and which had to be built back as it's been done in every other culture. But somehow, unfortunately, political forces and all kinds of things, it went on. But now, what does this mean? Why Ram now? See, if you look at Ram's life, nearly 6,000 plus years, I think, ago, till recently, he still had real estate issues. That long. When he was alive, at the age of 19, he was coronated as a king. But due to some politics, he was banished into the forest. With his newly married wife, she's not an Adivasi, she's a princess, unfit to live in the forest, I'm saying. But he had to go, knowing how difficult it is to live in the jungle with this young woman. His brother left his family and he also went because it's not a honeymoon, it is for hardship. Somebody is being sent into the forest not for honeymoon, but to see that their life becomes very hard. So his brother goes with him to assist. And his other brother, who feels that, who is now coronated, who feels a great injustice has been done to his elder brother, doesn't want to sit on the throne. So when Rama, Sita and Lakshmana are just walking out of Ayodhya at that time, he comes and says, there is… all these artists in Chennai have a funny story about this because there are musical and dance pieces around it, that when he's just leaving to the jungle, his brother says, please give me your footwear, I will place your footwear upon the throne and I will rule in your name, but I will never sit on the throne. This is out of his humility. But when a man is going to the jungle, you take away his footwear. I'm saying how many difficulties. Good people those who intend good things and those who intend evil things, both of them causing lot of trouble to him. Then he goes to the jungle as if that was not enough, as they were settling down, then, here comes from Sri Lanka a visitor and kidnaps his wife. Sri Lanka is not next door, that guy is supposed to have an airplane. He went away in his Vimana, but Rama doesn't have an airplane. They steal your wife and take her away. Not today, you don't know where is Sri Lanka, you don't know what it is. You have to walk 3,000 kilometers to get to Sri Lanka. But the man makes the journey. He is a king. Wife goes away, he can find a local solution. But he's not that kind. He wants to get his wife back because he feels, one thing is he loves her, another thing he feels he should not allow this injustice to go unpunished. So he goes, he doesn't have an army, just him and his brother. Two young men walking 3,000 kilometers. You know the story because here we are in Tamil Nadu, here people call him Raman. This happened, there he was Ram, when he entered Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, we called him Rama. The moment he came into Tamil Nadu, they made him Raman. He came here and looked, it's an island, you have to cross it. Then you have to get the local people to build some kind of a makeshift bridge. Then you have to build an army with the local people, go across, fight. Unfortunately, had to burn down a beautiful city and kill your enemy, who also is a great devotee of Shiva. So Rama is regretful. He knows he's kidnapped his wife, he has to do what he has to do, but he's very regretful that he's killing such a great devotee. And then he comes back and he goes into Himalayas to repent for 1 year because he killed a Shiva devotee. Then he comes and becomes a king after 12 years of exile. Then his wife is pregnant. Then once again a political situation arises where citizens are gossiping about his wife and they're saying, what kind of a queen mother do we have? She's been out for so many years somewhere. So, where a man holds the subjects that he rules upon more important than his own family and his personal emotions and his hardships and everything. So he sends her into the jungle once again, a pregnant woman. For a king, he's going to have his progeny, it's not a small thing. And there is no sonogram, he does not know whether it's boy or girl or boys or girls. Well, she goes into the jungle and delivers 2 boys, he doesn't know. They grow up to be 12-year-olds. See, in a man's life, if anything truly terrible has to happen, knowingly or unknowingly you kill your own children, that is the worst thing that can happen to you. He almost did it, very close, fortunately it did not happen. And then he never got to see Sita, she died in the jungle. I'm saying his life is a serial disaster. So why so much spirit about Ram? Because this is a civilization which values mukti or liberation as the highest value. Through all this serial disasters that are happening to his life, he remains unfazed. He is not an insensitive man, he is not a ruthless man, he is very gentle, he is loving, but he doesn't become angry, he doesn't become hateful, he doesn't fill himself with angst and negativity. He does tapasya for having killed his enemy. This is the quality we are bowing down to. When we say Rama, we don't say God, we say Maryada Purushottam. Purushottam literally means a very superior human being. This is what people have been bowing down to, this is the fundamental ethos of this civilization. So, Ram temple is not a religious thing, as you know, there are political overtones to it because of so many things, but essentially, it is a civilization reclaimed. It is a civilizational aspect, moving from simplistic belief systems of there is a God somewhere and he will take care of everything for us, or he will take us to heaven, from that to individual human beings working for their emancipation, individual human beings longing and seeking their liberation, how to transcend the limitations of our physiological and psychological processes, that even when we are alive here, how to be beyond that. So any human being, if he rises beyond that, not being in a cocoon of protection, being out in the world, even fighting a battle, how to fight a battle without anger, without hatred, this is what he displayed. He fought battles very fiercely, but without anger, without hatred, without any kind of angst against the enemy that he was fighting. So this if you do in your life, you also become a Maryada Purushottam. So here, it is not about gods descending from heaven. This is a civilization where human beings can rise to become divine. This is the possibility, this is the yoga, this is the spiritual process, this is the land. And this is important not just for Bharat, this is important for the world. As in the video something was coming out like that. See, in my estimate, in the next 35 to 40 years, at least minimum 70% of the people will not ascribe to any religion. Dogmatic religion will be out in the next generation. Right now, in United States, I'm talking about 2018 statistics. In 2018, before the COVID, in all the forms that citizens fill up, 29% of the people say no religion. In United Kingdom, 32% of the people say no religion. In Western Europe, 43% of the people say no religion. I am telling you, in another 35 years' time, over 70% will be openly declaring no religion. When this happens, the aspiration to meet God, the aspiration to go to that cocoon called heaven, when this goes away, what will human beings do? One thing is, they can become alcoholics, drug addicts and crazy things, doing all kinds of stuff, or they could become meditative. I have already asked you this question. I am asking you once again. M for mental illness, M for meth, M for marijuana, M for meditation. What are we going to make out of this world? This is the important responsibility. In this direction, this Ram temple and similar structures which represent that quality is important, but because people need iconic representations to aspire for that.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru.
Where are you? Okay.
Around 3 years back, while chanting, I had a very bad experience. Since
What is that?
then, I have a bad experience.
Of what?
While chanting, Yogeshwara chant, since then I've been struggling. I have tried a little bit here and there, but couldn't make things work. Can you please look into it?
It looks like even now with the microphone you're having a bad experience. Shankaran Pillai went on a hunting expedition with his American friend. Both were walking in the jungle, steep slopes up the mountain. Of course, they had to carry a rifle. Apart from that, his friend was carrying a large metal cage on his shoulders. And Shankaran Pillai was carrying a 5-foot-long concrete pole on his shoulders. Because both were huffing and puffing to go up the slopes, they stopped. And Shankaran Pillai looked at his friend and asked, "Why are you carrying that metal cage on a hunting expedition?" His friend said, "If a wild animal comes, if a grizzly bear comes and attacks, then I will go into the cage and lock myself and I will be safe." Then Shankaran Pillai noted, okay, that makes sense. And they continued to climb up, and as they got steeper and steeper, lungs were in the mouth. Then they stopped again. Then the other guy asked, "But why are you carrying a concrete pole?" So Shankaran Pillai said, "Suppose any wild animal like a grizzly chases me, I'll drop the pole and I'll run much faster." You're like that. Unnecessary things you carry upon your head, and then you think, why is every simple thing a problem? Yogeshwara chant is the simplest thing you can do. Chant will not give you a bad experience. People have bad experiences doing something and not doing anything. Yes or no? Hello? People have bad experience because they're not educated. People have bad experience because they went to school. People have bad experience because they're not married. People have bad experience because they got married. Endless number of things. So your bad experience and your chant have nothing to do with each other. Your bad experience and anything that you're doing in your life has nothing to do with each other. This is what I've been trying to tell you continuously, that human experience is generated from within. What is happening from within, if you don't take charge of it, and you think a chant is doing it, it's a breeze, Sadhguru, breeze came like this, suddenly I felt miserable. This happened. I heard this sound, then I became miserable. I saw this person's face, it looked like that kala moo, whatever. What is that North Indian saying about it? What is that? Whatever, the bad luck face I saw, and suddenly I got into bad energy. God damn it, it's you. Get this straight, at least for the coming year. Get this straight. Bad experience, good experience, every kind of damn experience, the source is you. If you don't fix that, things will happen accidentally. Maybe an accident happened when you were chanting, but it could happen without the chant. It happens to millions of people around the world without any chant. Please.
Namaskaram, Sadguru. Sadguru, in the…
Where are you?
To your
right.
Yeah. In the next few weeks, there is a consecration happening in the Bangalore ashram of a Mahashul and the Nandi. Could you please tell us what is the significance of this?
2024, recklessly I've committed to too many consecrations. There is Nandi and Mahashula consecration on 15th of January, 22nd of June, I think, is Bhairavi consecration in United States. I've already committed to somehow complete the Kala Bhairava, and before that we will have to do Naga consecration here, because we did not consecrate the Naga at that time. And 2025, Bangalore Bhairavi consecration. They're already talking about 2026, Mumbai consecration, 2027 Delhi consecration. These are all major consecrations. So these consecrations and initiations are terrible for me because I have to throw my life out. But that's what I'm here for. Otherwise, I can just fool around doing safe soil and something which is, doesn't take my life like this. But this needs to be done because when you are in a consecrated space, it touches you in what we refer to as the Vijnanamaya kosha. Well, for all the YouTube fans also I'm telling you, I'm not discouraging you, but it's fine to be inspired, but inspiration should lead to action. Why initiations and consecrations are important is, it touches you in your etheric body. You don't know what it is, you are clueless about what it is, that means you can't mess it. All right? If you know where it is, you will mess it. Now you don't know where it is, so you can't mess it. That is the safety of powerful initiations and consecrations. If I teach you anything, within 15 days you'll twist it and come back. You came to inner engineering, we spent so much time to tell you how your experience of life, your life is your responsibility. Sadguru, I went home and told my husband that he's responsible for what's happening in the house and he just flared up. How do I do this? Hey, I told you you're responsible, why did you go and tell him he's responsible? No, you told me, but should I not tell him he is responsible? Like this, you'll twist it and turn it in 1,000 ways, whatever you learn. So that is why we found the safety of initiations and consecrations, so that it touches you in a place where you don't know how to mess it. Safety, insurance. Initiations and consecrations are insurance against foolish people who will constantly do something. See, if there is a wound which is healing, you can't keep your hands off.
You have to scratch it and make it bleed once again because you can't keep your hands off things which are getting better within you. You will have to mess it. This is called as karma because old patterns play up. Old patterns have their own power, they play up. So, consecrated spaces are very, very important. For future generations, this generation and future generations, to know life in a more subtle way, not simply thinking of how to survive in the world. Right now, our education system largely has become how to survive better than somebody. Why somebody, it used to be MBBS, now it's MBA. It's a little shifted. Earlier, when we were growing up, you must do MBBS, otherwise you're just BS. Now it's MBA. Why? Because you can survive better than others. Not everybody, I'm not saying this about everybody, but not everybody is going into medicine because they have passion for knowing about human system and finding solutions for human health. There is no such passion in most of the people. They're going there because that qualification gives them some significance in the society. Maybe it makes money, maybe it gives prestige. The same goes for almost everything. I don't know, though you may think my percentages are cruel, but I have been in so many universities speaking to students. Please tell me if I'm cruel, I'll calibrate my percentage a little bit. I think only about 15% of the students are really there for the passion of learning that subject which has somehow excited them. Rest are there because if you do this, you will get that in life. Am I being very cruel? That is the thing. So, to bring yourself to a possibility where your mind and your body becomes in such a way, see, both human body and human mind are a miracle. When I say miracle, it can do things that have never been done on this planet till now, that's a miracle. But most human beings are using it as a way to create misery for themselves. It's become a misery manufacturing factory. All the human misery, where is the manufacturing unit? Coimbatore? Where is it? In human mind. What a miracle it is, but what a mess most human beings have made out of it. So, in 2024, apart from the consecrations, we are launching a movement called Miracle of Mind, that we want to make sure at least 3 billion people in the next 18 to 24 months, we want to ensure at least 3 billion people will close their eyes and sit for 15 minutes a day. This will be a game changer in terms of mental illness. No, it's not yet done. It needs to be done, I'm saying. Hello? Oh, Sadhguru, you're going to do it, we're going to clap our hands. No. Hello? Shall we make it happen? So, you must understand, this is consecrating human beings. Simple processes with which the very atmosphere within you changes. It's important that human beings live like this, that you are like a living temple yourself. Wherever you go, certain change for the positive happens. It doesn't matter, there are people around you, plants around you, animals around you, just the air around you. Something should change because this is what a being means. If you know how to be, what is around you must change in your direction because that is the way it is. So consecrations are about this and as you know, it's in Chikkaballapur, well, it's a Bangalore center, but it's in Chikkaballapur. Chikkaballapur has many stories behind it for me, but
it is also the former region of Vijayanagara Empire. We are going back again because since I started setting this up, Sadhguru Sannadhi in Bengaluru or Chikkaballapur, so many childhood stories are coming back to me. So many of them, lot of them related to Vijayanagara. What human mind can do means it's like this. It once happened, Krishna-Devaraya fell ill, the king, the emperor, fell ill. All the doctors of that time, they came and examined, they gave many types of medicines, no recovery. Day by day, he's just dropping off. Then Krishna-Devaraya sent word to Tenali Rama because all the doctors had failed and he's becoming feeble. So he said, Tenali, do something. He said, what can I do? I'm not a doctor, I don't know nothing about this. Do something. I'm just slipping away. So not knowing what to do, deeply distressed that his emperor is going to die, he just walked into the town, he was walking in the marketplace. He's a very observant person, he just looked around. He saw one shopkeeper sitting there with such state of misery and angst. He looked at him, he went to him and asked, why are you like this? So he said, what to do? I'm a sandalwood dealer. In my ambition to make money, I bought a huge stock, taking a big loan from someone, thinking I'll be able to sell this sandalwood. But there is no way I can sell this. The moneylenders will come and kill me anytime. Already they're hounding me at my home. They will take my life. There is nothing left for me. I have young children and a wife. I don't know what will happen. The only way, if at all if I sell this sandalwood, the only way I can sell is if the king dies. Tenali Ramakrishna heard this and said, what did you say? He said, who else will buy this much sandalwood? Because kings and emperors were always cremated with sandalwood. Said, if the king dies, all this can be sold and my problem will be over. Tenali Ramakrishna said, just wait a minute, you be here, don't close your shop. He went home, got the money, he bought all the sandalwood. And the man smiled and he was very happy. The king recovered. Yes, you must understand, this is the way human consciousness works. If you invest without going on thinking what will happen, what will not happen, is it possible, not possible, if you invest your energies into what you want, it has to happen. There is simply no other way. This is the power of human consciousness. This is what it means. This is the only reason why of all the millions of species of creatures on this planet, we refer to you as a being. This is what being a being means. Otherwise, we are just creatures. This year, 2024, this should be your goal, that you will become a full-fledged being, not a creature of compulsive reactions to life, but a conscious being who creates what you want for yourself and for everybody around you as much as possible. It is possible to do this, it is just that we have not done enough about it. It is just that our education systems and our society has not invested enough to building great human beings. Without building a great human being, we are not going to build a great nation. Without building a great human beings, we will not create a great humanity or a world. This is the time to make it happen. Let's make it happen. I want to see some joy.